Hello, hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you might be watching this. Thank you for being here. Tonight is our Melt into Dream space. Just happens as life would happen. Sometimes it just works out that way. To be a new moon in Leo. Leo season's always an interesting one. Leo definitely represents, like the Wizard of Oz courage, but it's also very much about like being oneself. Leo is kind of like that. The ability to, oh, just a second here. Um, so, as it, oh, I'm going to, there we go. So as I was saying, so it's just happenstance that it's the new moon today as well. So new moon in Leo. So it's always interesting when we start thinking about astrology as archetypes, which is tends to be my perspective of how to use it from a personal development perspective of like the archetype of how do we fully embody ourselves? And tonight I wanted to kind of allow you to come into this place of restful presence. And I think, when we come into restful presence, we are able to at least connect to some deeper sense of self and hopefully allow ourselves to be more ourselves as well. And so, as always, I invite you to be here to gather whatever makes sense for you to be comfortable, whatever makes sense for you to really allow yourself to be both present, but also in a restful state. I always think that Yoga Nidra is like, and one of my teachers, Tracy always talks about it from like a cocoon or a nest. And how do you build yourself this really comfy, cozy nest to allow yourself to settle in? I was reading a newsletter that I receive. It was talking about or had some journal prompts in it about the new moon. And one of them that kind of drew my attention that I wanted to share was this. At long last, the new moon dawned, and I spoke a honey-tongued charm into the first chill wind. I said, and fill in the blank. I want you to let the image maybe linger a bit of this new moon and the beginnings and this potentially cool evening wind. And the intention behind what your words might be sent out like a warmth-seeking spell. So what is it that kind of speaks to you when you think of that? Before we kind of begin thinking about what that intention might be, maybe it is around this idea of restful presence. Maybe it is something to do with the Leo energy that we are and that we've entered, around courage. Perhaps again, like the lion that is really, or the Leo energy that is kind of like, they're pretty okay with themselves. They like to be the center of attention. They like to kind of be there, which is a beautiful quality that we can all kind of emulate or to, again, draw upon that archetype. So let yourself get cozy and comfy here, whatever that looks like. Perhaps blankets, perhaps not, depending on where you are and the weather that you're experiencing, but definitely pillows. Maybe you're in bed, which would be very lovely. As the saying goes, there's zero words given for minimalist suffering tonight, right? Like this is where we go all out and kind of gather all the things around us. So you've arrived at this practice, even if you had to do whatever you needed to do to get here. The task now upon you is to simply rest and to receive. There's no fixing or performing or doing or anything needed except to be. With every exhale, imagine your own honey tongue charm slipping into the summer air. gentle, sweet, and a promise of yourself to yourself of ease. That word ease. You don't have to wrestle with anything tonight. Just let the wind carry your intentions for rest far beyond the edges of your mind. So as you start to get comfortable, if you're not already, finding whatever maybe other movements you need to make in order to allow yourself to be both still but really supported. Begin to allow your breath to feel as effortless and inviting as a whispered spell. Begin to notice perhaps the subtle energy of the new beginnings, the new beginning of this practice, but also of this time of the lunar. And whenever you're ready, perhaps closing your eyes or covering your eyes, perhaps even to really allow yourself to deepen. Knowing that we are going to begin this practice and that at times you may go in and out of really being aware of what is happening, and that this is a very much a sometimes passive, just trust in that you are receiving all that you need to receive without actually having to do anything, simply allowing yourself to receive, giving yourself permission right now to do absolutely nothing except land in this moment, knowing that if your thoughts wander, as they will, just imagine them dissolving like ice cubes on a hot summer day. Trust that you are right where you need to be, between the hush of the new moon and the comfort of your own breath. Sometimes the most radical thing that we can do is show up. Perhaps add a little poetry to the ordinary and to rest like it's our birthright. Take a slow, deep breath in, filling your lungs. Exhale fully. Allow your body to begin to soften into the sports beneath you. Another deep inhale, fully exhaling, perhaps through your mouth with a sigh. Taking a few more breaths here. It's a little slower, a little deeper. Letting go of whatever was going on a few minutes ago and allowing yourself to be here right now. Can you allow the exhale to be a teeny bit slower than the inhale? Can you soften your face, your jaw, your belly? Begin to think about a simple intention. Perhaps it's something like, I give myself permission to do nothing, to stop striving, planning, and running on the hamster wheel. For the next little while, my only job is to rest and notice what it's like to be here, to be with myself. Bring your attention to your left foot. If your left foot feels nothing but boredom, that's okay. Just notice what's there. Maybe it's warmth or coolness, tingling, sudden urge to wiggle your toes. From your left foot, bring your attention up to your left lower leg. your left knee, your left thigh. Notice the entire left leg resting heavy. Bringing your attention to your right foot. Noticing again your right lower leg, your right knee, your right thigh. Noticing your entire right leg resting heavy. Now feel both of your legs heavy, held. Moving to the pelvis. Notice contact with the ground or whatever the support is beneath you. If the tension creeps in, imagine it seeping out like continuing to move up into our low belly, our lower back, our middle back, our chest. Pausing here to feel the rise and the fall with your breath. Your upper back, your shoulders. Notice if you're secretly clenching here and allow it to melt. Scan your left from your shoulder, left shoulder, or elbow, left wrist, down into your left hand. Moving over to your right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right hand. Noticing both of your arms. Your neck, throat, jaw, tongue, cheeks, eyes, your brow, crown of your head. Your full body, your full body. Imagine listening to yourself with superhero level microphones. No need to change anything. We're just paying attention to your full body. Bring your attention to your natural breath. Notice where you feel it the most in this moment. Perhaps your nose, your chest, your belly, your ribs. No need to deepen or slow, just allow it to do whatever it's going to do. Notice your body breathing. Be present to your breath. Be present to anything that's coming up for you in this moment. And with each exhale, allow something to go. Perhaps the grocery list that you started to make, or a conversation that you've been churning over, or the urge to check your phone. Imagine them red ballooning away with every exhale. As you do, invite a sense of trust. Your body knows how to relax. Your body knows how to breathe. What would it be like to just let go of doing rest and just let yourself be? What does it feel like to not control your body, your thoughts, or even your feelings for the next few minutes? As your mind wanders, will you just bring it back? Sensing the support beneath you, feeling yourself cozy, comfy, your body not having to be tense to support you, but fully relaxed. Imagine each muscle is melting as if a sunbeam is warming them from the inside out. Let go just 5% more. Right now, there's nothing I need to fix. Your only job is to rest in what is. Embrace whatever is coming up for you in this state of not doing. Let all of it be present, like strange guests at a dinner party. Just observe. As you perhaps get the urge to move, to shift, The thoughts running through your mind, can you let them go with the exhale and allow yourself to sink a little deeper into the rest and relaxation? Scanning through your inner landscape, are there feelings coming, surfacing as you rest? Can you let them exist without editing them or hustling to improve? I allow myself to feel what I feel and let it be here just for now. If it feels hard to do so, name it. This is the part of me that struggles to let go, to rest, to be. Notice and breathe. You don't have to push it away or analyze it. Just let it hang out with you. If you had an intention, this would be a good time to repeat it to yourself a few times, allowing it to sink deeper into your consciousness. Returning your attention to our breath, noticing the gentle rise and fall of our chest. And once again, without trying to change anything or simply being here. Taking a few conscious breaths here as we begin to slowly make our way back and return. Remembering this feeling of being present, being enough, releasing the need to do and allowing ourselves to be. We don't want to force ourselves back into doing all at once. So perhaps just making some really micro movements with our fingers, toes, perhaps our eyebrows or our face. And as we do, perhaps just noticing how that feels. Before doing anything, asking yourself what feels right for you in this moment. Perhaps it's staying right where you are for a little longer. Perhaps it's giving your body a stretch, hugging your knees into your chest. Whatever it might be, taking a moment to whisper a thank you to yourself for showing up, for taking these 30 minutes to be here. You've just reclaimed the radical act of resting on purpose, considering what your intention was and how you might allow that to move you, become a part of you over the next day, the next week, as we move into the weekend. How might you live with that intention? Coming back to this idea of restful presence, allowing ourselves to be rested so we might be present for all that is within us and around us, but allowing space for rest to exist. Perhaps in this moment, thinking about how you might respond to the journal prompt that I mentioned at the beginning. At long last, the new moon dawned, and I spoke a honey-tongued charm into the first chill wind. I said, listening to the intention that perhaps some other part of you is speaking. Of course, you can remain in this position for as long as you like, if it feels right for you. Making whatever movements really slowly and supportively, usually rolling over to one side and hanging out there for a moment before again making any movement. We move so quickly in our lives that sometimes it's really nice to just make a move and wait. And when we're kind of called to move again, using our hands to press into the support beneath us and coming to a seat. When you're ready, opening your eyes. And perhaps you're not, perhaps you're still resting. Whatever feels right for you today, tonight. I thank you for showing up, for being here, and allowing yourself to feel this restful presence within you. And noticing what comes up for you. I always encourage people after these sessions, right, to take a moment perhaps with your journal to write down anything. Sometimes, even if nothing necessarily came to us, when we put pen to paper, sometimes things come out of us. I thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you next month. Take good care.